This is the most recent version of Lush, my roll and write garden game. So let me show you how to play it. What you do is you grab this sheet, you grab a pen, and you grab 2 dice. What we do first is that we roll for shade. So let me start by rolling 1 dice. We've got a 4. And we will find all these small numbers that has a 4 on it. So we have 2 here. We have 2 here. We have a lot over here. Let me see if I can just find... All right, I think that was all the 4s. So if we roll a 4 again, we will add 1 to that number. I rolled a 2, which wasn't important, but if we have had 2 6s, we will go around and it's a 1 instead. But we rolled a 2. So let's find all the 2s. We have 2 right there. We have 2s right here. And I think that was it. All right, that was it. So the shade in our garden looks like this. So now we want to find out what our cat and dogs likes and dislikes. And again, we will roll 1 die for these plants up here. If we roll a 6, it's a wild card that we get to later, but then you will re-roll the dice. Now we want to find out what they likes and dislikes. So it's a 5. Our cat really likes pathways. And then we will draw this down here. So it really dislikes, that was a 6. It really dislikes number 2. And that's sunflower flower thing. Our dog likes the sunflower. Alright. And it really dislikes, that was a 2, so we go to a 3. It dislikes tulips. Okay, so now we are actually ready to play. What we do is that we have 10 rounds to play this game, and each round is represented by a leaf in this bush and this bush over here. Alright, so let's start by rolling some dice. You have 2 dice and you will roll a shape and you will roll a flower. So let's start rolling. We got 2 6s, which means we have only 1 option. We have this one and we have this one. So we will have to do this shape, but we have a wild card. And a wild card means that we can choose any one flower or the pathway, but we will have to add the weed next to it. The weed can be negated because weed gives us -point at the end of the game by doing an ability. And we have some one-time abilities in this game. We have 4 of them, but they're tied together in that way. So if I rotate any shape, I will X this one out, and then I can't say no to weeds the rest of the game. The same is true over here, that if I add 1 to a dice roll, I can re-roll a dice. Okay. But I had a 6 and I had a 6, so I can actually choose what I want now. So let's see, we have to start by placing next to these 2, which are the starting tiles. Legal placement is over here, so you can plant flowers next to other flowers, and you can plant flowers next to pathways. And since there are only 2 paths in the game right now, we have to place them next to those. Okay, our dog really likes some sunflowers, so how about we place some sunflower next to him? We can do that right here, but since it's not optimal, I will lose 1 flower here, so I think that's okay. I cannot rotate the shape unless I use the ability, so I can't do like this. I will have to find a way to do like this, for example, and that was actually that was okay, but I want to connect maybe this way down here, and I can't really, so let's add some sunflower like this. Oops. So we'll add some sunflower up here to make our dog happy. So that is also 4 points right there, but I only get 4 points if I get them next to the right plant. So sunflower really wants to be next to this flower. And how the symbiosis bonus works is that if I manage to get just one flower, that was the wrong, just one flower next to these shapes, and it does not matter how big the shape is, if it only touches one adjacent to one other flower, it counts. So that is what the symbiosis means. It means that they only score if they are next to the right plant, really. But since we have not had this yet, let me just erase it. Okay, so we got this down. We will scratch this one out since we used one row. And let's see what we will do now. It was a wild card, so I have to add 2 weed. And I don't really want to use that yet, so we have to add 2 weed next to this, and it has to look like this. So I think I'll add those here, and we don't have the option to, for example, I could not place this like into the cat, for example, like this. That's not an option. You have to show all the weed. All right, let's roll again. We got a 2 and a 5. So we got some more sunflower, or we got some pathway, or we got this shape and that one. So we could do some pathway like this. And pathway does not go into the symbiosis thing, so that doesn't matter, but I really want to use that shape here. All right, let me just, we'll add the pathway here. We can maybe connect it later. That was our second. And let me tell you how you score the game. So the way you win is by getting most points. How you get most points is having the biggest cluster of flowers. So if I had one other sunflower over here, I will only score this one. I won't score both. I will score for the biggest one. So in this game, I would not get anything now, but if I had that flower here, I will score 4 points for that one. I will not score for the pathway because that one needs to be connected to another pathway, like so, not like this. If I manage to connect pathways, I will get points for each pathway. So you get 1 point for each pathway. And since I have 3 next to the dog, this counts as well. I got +1 point. No, I have only 2. So that's +1, so that's 6 points. And that's how you play the game. Let me know what you think.